In this video today, we're going to be breaking down some Freemasonic artwork, what we have here on the screen. And particularly, this is called the Freemasonic Royal Arch. Now, this is the archway that we're going to be breaking down. Now, this is what we call complex symbolism. Now, what do I mean by complex symbolism? This consists of many different symbols all together producing one piece of artwork. It's many symbols used together to portray one meaning. Now we have checkered floor, we have pillars, we have an eye, we have an archway. This is all complex symbolism. It's painting a picture, an overall symbol. Now, when we're talking about Freemasonic symbolism, it's all about how to gain enlightenment and more self-awareness. Now, that is the aim of Freemasonry, of the spiritual path that you are walking, uh, consciousness, and gaining higher awareness. Because this is the eye. The eye is conscious. The eye sees, it perceives. It's about gaining more consciousness, more light, more awareness of yourself, understanding of your power, the power of the mind, the power of yourself, the power of the body. Okay. So this is symbolism and instructions. These symbols are hiding instructions on how to gain higher awareness, which is symbolized as light. Okay. So when we look at this image, the thing that stands out the most is that we have these two pillars. We have a left and right pillar. The left pillar represents masculine forces because normally we have like a sun here and a moon here in their different artwork. But in this one, we don't have a sun and moon. Okay. So everything in the universe has masculine qualities and feminine qualities, including consciousness. Okay, so remember, this is all about gaining more consciousness, gaining more understanding. We have masculine traits of consciousness and feminine forces of consciousness. Okay, so the left masculine force of consciousness would be direct action, the physical world, the physical body moving. That's a masculine force. Okay, and what else? We have action. We have the material world, the material body. This is what we can see with our two eyes, the material world. We can see our action. We can see physical reality. However, we have a right pillar, a feminine pillar, which represents what we cannot see. This is the feminine pillar. This is more of things that we can't see, the forces of consciousness that we can't see, such as thoughts, emotions, visualizations. You know, these are internal qualities. Because remember, we don't have one world. We're not this material body. We're not the external world. We are the internal world also. The internal world is a mirror of the external. The external mirrors the internal. So this is why these two pillars stand the same. However, they're different. They are mirrors of each other. Your internal world of consciousness produces the external world of material reality. It is the inner forces of thoughts, emotions that shape our external experience and our external actions. Okay. So essentially, what this is showing you here is these two masculine and feminine forces within us. The inner world, the feminine pillar, more emotional, intuitive, and the external world, the action, physical action, what we can see. Okay. And they're mirrors of each other. However, most people on surface level base consciousness is what the occult and esoteric call it. That conscious state that we're in when we just wake up, we realize we have consciousness and we realize our mind is not powerful because we have divided thoughts, we have divided actions, our mind and body are not working together. We have a very When we become awakened, we realize that we're in an animalistic state, a divided state of consciousness. This is what we're looking at here. This chessboard, the checkered board, it's black and white, it's duality, it's opposing. This symbolizes consciousness. Remember, symbols are symbolic of you, nothing external, but the state of your consciousness. This represents base level consciousness, hence why it's on the ground. The ground represents low. It's at the base, it's the surface, it's the ground upon we rise upon. We have to climb these pillars, remember. We climb these pillars towards the archway, the eye. Now we're going to break that down later. So the black and white checkered board is confusion. It represents base level earth consciousness. You know, it's me versus you thinking. A lot of the world is stuck in this. They think, they're stuck in their ego. It's me versus you, when in fact we are all part of the whole. We're all part of an infinite awareness, an infinite consciousness. We're all actually one. We're all one. But on this chessboard down here, it represents base level thinking, base level consciousness, base level awareness. It's you versus me. We see life through the ego of of selfishness, pretty much. This is the internal division where our inner world is not aligned with our external world, where our mind, our internal thoughts are not being acted upon. Now, and that's not to say, oh, you should act on every single thought because we all have intrusive thoughts. However, if you say you're going to do something in your internal thought and in your mind, the body needs to be a follow up of that. You need to have honor within you that your body acts out the mind's will, the mind's desire. If you say you're going to start something, you need to start something. You should not have the contradiction between the inner and the outer world, which is this division you're in. If you say you're going to better your life, which is what Freemasonry and the spiritual path is about, bettering your consciousness, mastering your mind, and leveling up your awareness. Okay, you have to do what your internal world is saying. You have to act out left pillar action, your internal world. You need to build a connection between the mind and the body. The mind is the monarch. It is the command center. It is it's above all forces. The mind is the force that the body needs to obey. If you want to get out of this division, you have to align your mind's will and desire with your body's actions. You have to act according to rise above this base level consciousness. Okay. So, what we're looking at here is how to achieve wholeness, singularity, unity consciousness is what they call it in the occult. Unity consciousness, where there is no external physical body and internal mental body contradiction. There is no contradiction between the feeling of doing good and the action, because we all have a feeling in our soul. Our soul communicates to us the right thing to do at all times. We all know the right thing to do at all times, and that is a feminine force of consciousness. That's the right pillar. We must act on what we know and feel is good at all times in order to climb these pillars towards unity consciousness. Okay? We must, upon the feeling of doing good. When we're in an environment, we feel inside whether we should be here or not. Whether on your phone, you know intuitively whether you should be on your phone or doing something else, studying, reading, whatever it is. Your higher mind tells you what is right and what to do at all times. You know you shouldn't be on your phone wasting time subconsciously and on an emotional, intuitive state, which is a feminine internal quality, a right pillar quality. And the body's not acting out this. It's not acting it out. The body's on TikTok. The intuition is telling you to reach the higher mind. That's the division. That's base level consciousness. Okay. And in order to climb these pillars, we have to act according to our internal intuition to build these bridges between left and right. The inner world and the outer world need to be synced, not divided down here. This is the division. That's base level consciousness. If you want to gain higher awareness, you want to gain personal power, mental power, you have to become a strong force. You have to gain a strong connection between the inner and outer, the intuition and action, the mind, the higher mind, with the physical body. Most people live in this war, and we've all been there. I was in it too. We all begin here in this internal war. It's the same war between Jesus, Satan, Horus, Set, day, night, good, evil. That's the war between the mind, the body, the higher mind and the body, the intuition and the body. There needs to be bridges built between the two so that you align the left pillar with the right pillar to gain higher wisdom, higher awareness, higher powers. Because when the mind is contradicted, when your mind says it wants to do something, you want to build the business, you want to study the occult, you want to reach your higher mind, the best version of yourself, but you don't act upon that, that is internal contradiction. The mind is not powerful in that state. The mind cannot direct its creative power, its forces, if it can't direct these forces into manifestation to create things in your life. As you are aware, if you've watched my videos, you are a creator, you are a co-creator, a spark of the mind of God, and you are here to create and expand. In order to use the power of your consciousness, the power of your mind, the forces of your mind correctly, and to direct it with force, direct it efficiently, you have to align the inner and outer world, building the bridges to gain higher awareness, to gain higher power, to find out more about yourself and why you are here. Because remember, we're all being guided by our intuition. That is the true spirit guide. I don't like saying spirit guide. Spirit guides are not real. There's no force outside of you guiding you. It's your own soul guiding you through intuition, through emotional communication, the feeling of goodness, the feeling of what is right. Down here in division, you don't understand right from wrong, light or dark. But when you awaken, you start to understand right from wrong. You gain higher awareness. And this is what you need to act upon to climb these pillars, to align the left with the right, the inner and the outer, the masculine with the feminine, the action with the emotion. Okay? And this is why we have this symbol here. Because remember, let me draw this for you. Upward triangle represents fire, which is masculine, left pillar. The downward triangle is water, which is feminine. And together they combine to create this symbol, which is, again, symbol of unity consciousness. And when you gain unity of the inner and outer world, and you climb the pillar, which takes time, you don't just take one action and you end up all the way here. It takes time. You have to go up and up and up. Then you build the bridge between the left and the right, the inner and the outer, and you gain power. This is the unification. This is why these two angels are holding hands here. They're unifying, they're holding hands, they're working together. This is symbolic of the collective consciousness also. Our life is shaped by the collective consciousness. We need to work together. The elites are using this symbol as chaos. It's a symbol of chaos, internal division, chaos. And they keep us divided. They keep us on the chessboard. Why? Because we're weak on the chessboard. When you have chessboard-based consciousness, you're manipulated by the people who have higher awareness of the mind. You see, life is a mental game. Life's a mental game. We live in a mental universe. Life is mental. Okay? And the ones who use the mind more, the ones who know about the mind more, win the game. It's throughout history. You can moan about this, you can whine about this, and it's okay. But this is life at the end of the day. The ones who know the forces of consciousness, the ones who know the mind, always rule over the ones who do not. You know, we can moan about it. I used to moan about it. However, it gets you nowhere. This is the game we're in. This is the situation we are in. We have to learn how the mind functions. And if we do not, you will be moved by the chess master, by the people with higher awareness, and you will be stuck in division, you versus me, light versus dark, racism, division, all just division tactics for us to be manipulated. Because we're not working together, that's when we're easy to be manipulated. So in this state down here, you're easily manipulated because you don't know how your mind functions. You have a base level awareness. You live to survive. In fact, you're not living. You're just experiencing. Okay. You don't question whether you have consciousness or not. You take consciousness and life for granted. Okay. And you don't realize the power of consciousness and the forces of consciousness and the forces that are shaping your life, such as thoughts and emotions and visualizations. Okay. So I was there too. Everyone begins at this point. It's okay. If you're at this point, that is completely fine. I'm not, saying anything bad. We all start at this base level and we rise up. Okay. And we have to take action. So this is a massive misunderstanding in the spiritual community today is that, you know, most people just focus on the left pillar, meditating, visualizing, trying to manifest things, or they sit around visualizing all day, hoping something's going to change. Action is just as important as visualizing and meditation. It's just as important. They come hand in hand. Masculine, feminine need to be unified. Okay. This is why we have these tools up here, right? We have the spade and a pickaxe. These are Masonic tools. The spade does what? It digs. It digs down because these are tools to lift ourselves out of this base level consciousness. We have to dig ourselves. We have to actively, masculine force, action, dig ourselves out of our lower mind. We have to shovel we have to destroy our old self. We use the pickaxe to destroy action, our old mind, our old thinking habits, our old actions, our old, emotional chaos. We have to actively destroy our old self. Okay. And the spade represents shoveling. Why is the spade on the right side? This is the feminine pillar. This represents our subconscious mind. We have to actively seek into our subconscious mind, dig deep into ourselves, and question, why am I taking certain actions? Why am I posting on social media? Am I seeking validation? Where are these actions coming from? Am I actively seeking a relationship with someone to actually love them? Or am I actually secretly, subconsciously fulfilling uh, a childhood trauma of being alone? We have to actively seek within our subconscious and question and go deep within ourselves with the spade to question, where are these lower actions, these low level actions coming from? What forces are driving our actions that are keeping us stuck in the lower mind, in the division? You have to question our subconscious. We actively have to dig within ourselves to build this bridge, this archway, which unifies our consciousness, which unifies the inner with the outer, the left with the right, the body with the mind, the emotions with the action. It's all about mastery, self mastery, mastering the self so we gain light. Now, why do we have an eye? The eye needs light to perceive. Your physical eyes on your brain and your head needs the sun. It needs light to see so you can see into the world. But a single eye represents the mind or consciousness, awareness, right? So it represents light, and the mind needs light. Light is symbolic for information. Okay, light is symbolic for information. The mind needs information to perceive truth. So when we say someone's intelligent, we say they're very bright. So the physical eyes need light to see, and the mind needs information to perceive. Same thing, symbolic. And when we align the left with the right, the masculine with the feminine, we gain higher what light, light of awareness. You gain deeper understanding of your consciousness, who you are, what you are. You gain deeper awareness of the power of your consciousness, the power of the forces of consciousness. You gain more light, more power, personal power. Now, it's up to you how you use that power. Do you use that power to manipulate others because of the others that are not aware of your, forces of consciousness? Or do you use that power to create goodness in life? That's completely up to you. Okay. And how you use that power. This is why secret knowledge is hidden, because you gain a lot of power, personal power, when you can direct the forces of consciousness properly. They're very powerful. In fact, it's the most powerful force in the universe, consciousness. It is. It shapes all things. It's created all buildings, all creations. Okay, so I hope this has gained you a better understanding. Please leave a like, comment, and a subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.